Twitter is one of the biggest social media platforms out there, which makes you think that a lot of people love it. Instead, everyone, especially its user base, loves to hate it. The consensus regarding Twitter is that it's a very negative and toxic place, which is due to numerous factors such as it's used by people. Unfortunately, it really does seem, as everyone else is saying, that you can't escape the nastiness of Twitter no matter how hard you try. But I feel that it's not all doom and gloom, so I want to highlight some of the goodness of Twitter, as well as spread a bit of positivity myself. Why am I doing this? Well, for one,
I was curious what would happen.
and also I genuinely wanted to make others feel at least a little happy. You're forgiven if you don't believe me in that last one, but for what it's worth, I did mean that. Anyway, I actually reckon that I could be onto an interesting social experiment here, but I think I need access to an account with a lot of followers and maybe get some more people to help out or something. With it just being me, I won't be able to get any interesting data to work with. Also, I really have no idea what I'm doing. But the main objective here isn't to make this a social experiment, it's to put smiles on faces. I'll start by explaining what I did. First, I created a fresh new account, and instead of making it basic, respectable, and realistic, I decided to go in a different direction. So I named the account XXX_swagmaster_XXX with a snazzy profile pic that I made myself. I was originally going to pick a sports picture or NBA Youngboy because the kind of comments that come from those accounts are sarcastic and made to get a rise out of others. And yes, I know I could have, and perhaps should have, made a super generic account with a name like Bob Smith 457 or something, but there was a specific reason why I made the account look the way it is. A normal reaction when looking at my account would be that I'm just some kind of troll or trickster. Thus, your guard would be raised. Yet all I'll ever say is just harmless stuff because I want to teach others that no matter how the exterior appearance of someone looks, there can be good inside them. Yes, I know that in this day and age we should all exercise at least some caution, and that this lesson more so applies to real life encounters, but I still wanted to do it this way because I thought it also may lead to some unique reactions. I set a few rules for myself as well, them being that I stay far away from sensitive topics like religion and politics because of super mega ultra obvious reasons. I should aim to interact with accounts of various popularity, and finally, I shouldn't expect others' profiles because I want to be kind to others indiscriminately, which while I did mostly stick with this rule, I sadly had to break it, because I was very close to wishing a happy birthday to someone with MAP in their bio, if it wasn't for my mouse cursor just happening to hover over their account. And no, I'm not talking about this kind of map. So with a naive attitude and my account looking like it came straight out of 2015, I was ready to go. Before I start though, I wanted to note that I filmed all this during December up until early January. I recorded what I said and the responses I got each day, but I'm just going to condense it all to only show some of it. And without spoiling it, the results are pretty much exactly what you would presume, except for the end, which I personally did not expect. Today is day 1, it is currently Monday, December 5th. Day 1 started nice and simple with me just searching for random keywords and finding 5 posts to comment on. And this is how I'd go forward with this whole thing for the most part. So I just complimented on stuff like flowers and goldfish and waited for the next day to see if I got any responses. The next day I saw that I got a few likes and a reply from Shailene, who also started following me. And at this point I was a bit surprised because I really thought that I'd mostly get ignored. I got on with my post but made note of something in particular, which is probably a small example of just how overly negative Twitter can be. This post in particular, however, there's a lot of criticism, really. So it seems like I'm in the minority of, throwing a compliment their way, Come on, don't be too hard on John. Day 3 I tried to pick a theme instead of 5 random topics, but had some trouble. Today I wanted to be a bit different and look up some short films that I can, give some compliments on. It was a struggle, like a big one. I just couldn't really find much posts that were relevant or just appropriate. So but I did find 3, which was just all coincidentally 2D animation. These first 3 days is pretty much how the whole month went. I would either pick 1 or 5 random keywords to put in the search bar, make my comments, see if I got any likes or replies the next day, and just do it over again. Sometimes I would scroll through the Explore tab or search for specific accounts, but that was later on. Now I'm going to start skipping forward, but before I jump ahead I wanted to show the replies of a post I found on day 4. So I just finished all my posts. This one is about like some guy just filling his house with a bunch of trees, And it's funny to point out, I won't, you know, it's like all this like, you know, not really, not much positivity going around here. And I'm not implying anything yet, but just thought I'd point it out. Day 7 was my first time posting on a popular tweet to see if I get noticed at all, and I also want to show another example of overly negative Twitter. And this one, right, is just a compilation of like, you know, desserts and stuff. It's very nice. But if you click on it, there's me, and then there's one guy who says Yankee, and then just the rest is all just this. I don't know what that means, but who knows. And then there's, what the hell is this? No idea how that relates, but there you go. I wanted to branch out a bit on day 14, so I replied to some creators that I know, to see how things differ between them and the smaller accounts. Within those 2 days of replying to creators, only 3 of them liked my tweets, with one of them also giving me a reply. Day 17, I replied to the State of Israel itself and made a bio. Now on day 18, I made my usual 5 posts, with 3 of them being creators on YouTube. One of them was Wings of Redemption. This I wish I saw earlier, but oh well. It was 23 hours ago, but who knows. Maybe he'll give him some attention. Keep this in mind because my little comment here becomes very important later on. Part of the result of my comment came the following day. Okay, December 23rd. Today, started off with a surprise because Mr. Geordie, or Mr. Jordan, actually responded, which I wasn't expecting. Now, it's engagements like this that I find to be more interesting. Because, first of all, let's just look at the other reply that he got. It's just stuff like this, and it's just, if we go back to the original, and yeah, there's lots of just jokes and sarcasm and all that just stuff, but there's also a good amount of yeah. that's what this is like. Most of his replies in his tweets are. It's just there's definitely some like just regular ones, and then there's a quite a notable amount of just jokes. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I found it pretty neat that Wings of Redemption singled out my comment to reply to, and it was a nice little interaction. I didn't think too much on it, and I moved on to make more posts. On Christmas Day, I did typical replies wishing others a Merry Christmas, with the exception of one, where I made an attempt to lift someone's spirits. And then this one, I'm stepping outside of the comfort zone a bit with this one, because this is like a Christmas thing, but this person is a little sad, so I thought I could give him a little message here. And despite having doubts, I got a very nice response the next day. And this person, I'm so glad. Okay, good. Alright, thank you so much. I didn't expect this. I hope you have a great time. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Because after I posted it, I was a little bit worried that it might come across as bad or something, or like me accusing them of being like ungrateful or whatever. But yeah, I'm just not really good at I'm not very good at communicating if it isn't obvious already. So I hope it looks like I got my point across well without any confrontation. So that is wonderful to see. Okay, give that a little like, and I think we are done today. Day 24, I saw someone follow me in real time. I will bring this up again later today. Oh, what the hell? Someone literally just started following me as I was about to end this. Look, I'm not asking for them. I don't need followers, but sure, go ahead. Alright then. But then they unfollowed me a few days later for some reason, which makes Shailene pretty much my only supporter from the start. She truly is a real one. On day 29, I decided to see if I could turn another frown upside down. I also left a nice comment on someone's post about their fruit smoothie. The very next morning, on day 30, I woke up to something that I never expected. I'll just let me and the recording do the explaining. the 3rd of December, not December, the 3rd of January. Anyway, I haven't done my posts yet. However, today is a pretty special day because I got my first ever death threat, finally. And basically, I woke up this morning, looked at my phone. The first thing I see is this, and all I read is WTF is that reply, and then I just thought, like, who is this person and what could I have possibly said to tick them off? And then I read the from Jogo Slow part, so come to find out, I go back to here and I see that it's the fruit smoothie one that I did, and if you click here and then you click Shimmer replies, you see this saying, gosh, swag. I'm like, I know I shouldn't be really laughing, but yeah, whatever. Swag Master, I'm approaching your location slowly. In a few days, you'll be dead. So yeah, I was taken aback a bit, but then I looked at the name here, Richard, and then I could see the picture. So then I go over to the accounts, and it's pretty obvious what's going on here. So yeah, this is just a typical troll of Mr. Geordie Jordan here. As you can see with these pictures, who knows what the hell this said. Apparently this is the first time he said this to me during this one a few days back. I just didn't see it. I only first heard of if this person did not point it out to me, then I would have no idea who Jogo Slow is and what they've been saying to me underneath some of the tweets. So yeah. So yeah, I'm not at all like, I'm pretty unfazed, honestly, because you know it's just an obvious, you know, like troll. I do sympathize for others, specifically Geordie Jordan here, who I'm sure gets multiple of these, and since it's, you know, this is a troll of Jordan, so I don't, of Geordie Jordan, whatever, so I don't feel, I feel nothing basically, but you know, if I was in Geordie Jordan's shoes, I'd be a little bit more concerned. So yeah, that just goes to show. It is kind of like ironic considering what I'm trying to do here with the whole like positivity thing, but either way, that's just what it is. Now, if this was just like a regular Twitter account that I had, I wouldn't do anything. However, this is impeding on what I'm trying to do here, so sadly, I am gonna have to report content. Well, let's see what this is. In the mood to beat up a bunch of racial slurs. Who's with me? Gosh. Okay. And there you go. No more $19 Fortnite cards for you, Mr. Jogo Slow. You've been blocked.
You've been blocked.
So, no hard feelings, right? They say there's a first time for everything, and on that day it was my first time getting a death threat and reporting a Twitter account. Hopefully that'll also be the last for both. Without faltering, I kept going to finish up this whole thing. The only things left to note is that on the last day, Twitter told me that Jogo Slow's account got locked, and everything went pretty normal until the end. And that about wraps it up. I'm going to split this conclusion into two parts. First, the results, and lastly, my thoughts. As for the results, did I fulfill my main objective, which is to spread positivity and put people in a better mood? I think I did. There's no way to definitively prove whether I made a good impact or not, so I'll just tell myself that I did, even if it was at a small scale. Now, as for all the responses I got from my tweets, I really shouldn't say that I can reach any hard conclusions from them because there's far too many variables to take into account. And again, I'm lacking both quantity and quality of data. But instead of leaving this with nothing, I'll just say what I've observed from the feedback that I got. Let me reinforce that this is just my observation. Starting with the tweets I made on the posts of online personalities, only a handful of them gave me a like, with even fewer giving an actual reply. I'm under the impression that I was either straight up ignored or just wasn't worth responding to. Of course, you may say that my tweet may have been drowned with a bunch of other tweets, but I purposefully picked recent posts with a small amount of engagement to maximize the chance of the account owner seeing my reply. Perhaps these online personalities or influencers or whatever you want to call them are too used to seeing supportive comments and just don't pay any mind to them. Or maybe my profile scared them off. But later when I share my thoughts, I'll go over an issue I have with that. Now with the smaller accounts, I enjoyed my interactions with them a lot more, and most of them gave me a response back, either a like, reply, or both. I don't care about likes in the sense of getting clout, but I more so see them as the other person showing a bit of appreciation. I love the replies I got because they were all positive and it seemed like the person on the other end was grateful for what I said to them. I think the small accounts value any compliments they get because they receive fewer than the popular accounts, which may be like a drop in the bucket to them. Due to that, I feel like I've made more of an impact with the smaller engagements. Forgive me for sounding salty that not everyone gave acknowledgement, but I do understand that no one is obligated to respond. It's just that I want to see a result of some kinds. And honestly, at the start, I fully expected to be ignored by almost everyone, so I'm grateful that I got plenty of responses. And I won't lie, I do find it funny and ironic how near the end I got a death threat after trying to be nice to people. And now for my final thoughts. Overall, I quite enjoyed doing this little thing for a month. Sure, you could say that this whole thing was pointless, but I really didn't feel like it was a waste of time. It felt nice throwing a compliment to a stranger and them showing gratitude in return, even if it's just letters and symbols on a screen. This shows to me that you can get similar fulfillments of a positive interaction with someone online and not just in real life. Others may say that being nice to people online is cheaper than in real life, but I'd make the argument that this still means a lot. Because on the internet we have more anonymity than in the real world, so people feel much safer to say something nasty, meaning that in an environment where people are more likely to be mean, the effect of being kind would be more powerful. There are a couple things that I would have liked to turn out differently, however. One is that I want to try a bit more to lift the spirits of people that were feeling down, but sadly there are a lot of truly upset individuals out there for various reasons. I'm neither a professional nor experienced, so I feel that it would have been ignorant of me of all people to step in a serious situation, and I'd rather play it safe than risking further damage. But what I was a little disappointed with is that most of the online personalities didn't give acknowledgement to the positive comments, and I'm talking about everyone else being supportive, not just me. Again, I know that they get more comments than the average account and there's no obligation to get back to everyone, but it's just that I find them to pay more attention to all the negative comments instead. Unfortunately, I can't remember who exactly said this, so I can't quote them, but some guy on YouTube said that the best way to get a creator's attention is to be mean to them. They could get hundreds of kind comments, yet their brain singles out the one negative comment, giving them full attention. What confuses me is that I mostly hear from these kind of people saying how toxic social media can be, where when I look at their engagement, I see a bunch of people actually being friendly. I have a small example of this from an account called AbsolMatt, who ignored me multiple times throughout that month, but that's besides the point. We can see here that he gives attention to a mean commenter, and he's put a screenshot on Twitter. He himself gives the reasoning why people can be harsh, even though he's given them the attention that they want. To his credit, Matt appears to like humoring these sort of comments, and claims that he forgets about them the next day. So I guess he has a better attitude than other people I see. Also, it's not just Matt I'm referring to, but why do a lot of YouTubers screen cap bad comments and post them to Twitter? Are they hoping that their followers will back them up so they can feel like it will invalidate the negative comment? Or is it just for a laugh or whatever? Just genuinely curious. All that being said, I will give them a bit of slack for putting more of their attention to the bad comments rather than the good ones, because experts have found that humans have a negativity bias. Of course, I won't pretend that I'm a psychology pro, so you can learn more about that from real experts rather than from me. But as the name suggests, negativity bias is how we are more reactive to bad things and also dwell on them as opposed to positive experiences. I also can't truly understand because I obviously can't see from the same perspective as those people who get hundreds of messages from strangers each day. So even if I'm going to sound naive when I say this, may I suggest that those complaining about mean comments try to give acknowledgement to the nice ones? Maybe things might change slightly from that, as in people craving attention would have to be nicer instead of nastier. Stepping aside from the online personalities now, I want to talk about social media as a whole. You gotta remember that the social media platform itself is not the product. We are. The business model of a social media is to create an online space that fosters plenty of people in order for other businesses to advertise their products and services, sometimes catering to specific groups. I know social medias aren't entirely innocent of the toxicity we see due to reasons that are way over my head, but we can't put the full blame on them for people being so hostile to one another. People can be rude, and that's just how things go. We can't expect everyone to be friendly because that would be unrealistic and require a lot of reforming. Yet just because we will never live in a world where every single person is cordial doesn't mean that it's fine to be part of the problem. I think we should all put a bit more effort into being kind and considerate online. It doesn't have to be forced or a month-long commitment like I did. Grand or small, some kind words or a charitable gesture can really mean a lot to someone. Like Kanye West once said, Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table. And the quote ends there, he didn't say anything else after that. And perhaps a tiny bit of positivity can collectively create a butterfly effect leading to bigger outcomes and a change in the world and the people around us for the better. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some dorky weirdo who named themselves Swagmaster, accompanied by a profile pic that would revolt others. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I still have the account up. All I gotta do to unlock my account is add another way to verify because the folks over at Twitter HQ decided to tuck away mobile 2FA behind a paywall, even though people say that mobile 2FA is less secure anyway. Outstanding move. Anyway, my original plan was to deactivate it, which I might still do that unless you or myself has any other ideas to put it to use. So if you'd like, you may drop a suggestion below and we'll see if Swagmaster can make a return somehow. Hopefully this video doesn't somehow upset people and maybe you were able to get something out of it. Thanks for watching and I wish you a swag-filled day.